Hi everyone, I am Maribel and I am a counselor here at Merced Adult School. This week we're going to be talking about anger. So specifically we're going to be talking about understanding anger and how to manage it and monitor it. So anger. So we all have issues, we all experience maybe losing control of our minds, our bodies, sometimes we say things we're not supposed to say and then we regret them. It happens to all of us. But what is anger? Anger is a secondary emotion. I bet you didn't know that. It is definitely not the first one. Okay, so what does it do? It hides that initial feeling of rejection, hurt, disappointment, fear. You definitely not control it. You can't avoid it. But we can learn to monitor and manage it better. So why do I want to talk about anger? Well, first of all, it's definitely harmful to our mental and physical health. You can get sick more often. You're more likely to have a heart attack or high blood pressure. It can definitely lead, if you don't learn to manage it, to like depression and anxiety. In case you didn't know, and another ways that I've heard in trainings, that depression is like inwarded anger. When you turn anger towards yourself. So that's like if you not ever deal with anything, that's what depression can be and look like. Sometimes when you're really stressed, you get angry, and you get angry. That's a lot of stress can lead to anxiety. So that's definitely reasons to pursue and talk about to help learn how to manage anger. So I'll talk about the styles and types of anger, and then I'll talk about some like insights and techniques that I researched on them. So this is by Jay Shetty. If you don't know, he's an inspirational speaker. He talks about 6 different types of like the types and styles of anger. Okay, you have the one that's explosive. You've seen those, like they blow up, right? It takes a lot to be pushed over the edge. So you don't know how to regulate your emotions, and so you absorb, you swallow, and you suppress that anger. Those are the explosive ones. The self-abuse type. They blame themselves. They take all responsibility. They feel it's easier to just be mad at themselves. This is where the person could be depressed. Then we have the avoidance one. They don't like confrontation because they're afraid to lose a relationship or lose a reputation, that connection they have with that person. So they get angry because of that. And then you have the person with sarcasm. So they're not okay to be openly rude, so they use sarcasm when they're angry. Kind of like that person that said, it's okay, like money grows on trees, or it's okay, I've only been waiting here for 4 hours, but it's not okay. It's like they're using sarcasm. Then you have the passive aggressive one. They express, that usually these people are those who express how they feel through something else. Like, let's say you get mad because they didn't wash the dishes, didn't pick up their room. They forgot to buy the milk when they went to the store. Those passive aggressive. So you used your anger of something and use it and put it in something else. Are you mad at me because I didn't wash dishes? Like, confuse the other person, right? Then the last but not least, we have the habitual irritation one. little things add up. And everything, you're pretty much everything's an issue at this point. And this is because that person is dissatisfied by something else that they are experiencing. So you got the explosive, the self-abuse, the sarcasm, the passive-aggressive, and the habitual irritation, right? And remember, a lot of this can be done with journaling and writing things down. Having a mediator can also help. Seeing a therapist, definitely big. And sometimes, instead of like sarcasm, use the sandwich method. And I don't know if you've ever seen that, and I've learned this with many people who've taught me. I always say something positive and good at the beginning. The middle, add some criticism. Maybe if gonna come here, think about it, 15, give yourself an alarm, like give some positive criticism in the middle, and then with something positive as well, thinking positively of that person. So like, definitely doing the sandwich method. So those are the different styles and types of angers. Okay, now let's talk about some techniques. This is a nice, fun technique that I think I would use, and I actually use myself, and it's most common. And this is a common technique. And then I'll talk about some insights that I've found. So this is the ABCDE. ABCDE. A stands for awareness. Focus on your anger. Be aware and mindful of your body. Pay attention to your feelings. Are you feeling tired, hungry, or stressed? I think I mentioned that before. Then, after being aware, make sure the B is for breathing. So breathe and take long, deep breaths. And C is counting. So as you're taking these, deep, long breaths, make sure that you're counting. Maybe count to 10. Maybe in for 4, out for 4. And do it as needed. Because that physiologically, it really calms you down. Trust me, I know when I'm stressed, angry, whatever feeling I'm having, breathing always helps. And I'm sad too. Counting, so awareness, breathing, counting, and then if you have to, distance yourself from between, so put some distance between that thing that hurt you or that not hurt you, but the thing that made you angry or that person that made you angry. Whether that's going out for a walk. Sometimes that helps, right? And last but not least, E is for express yourself. So after you've calmed yourself down, express your feeling. Talk and communicate about what made you angry. Those that care will listen. Okay? So awareness, breathing, counting, give yourself distance, and then express yourself. That's a quick technique. And I know that's very common, but not many people know how to use it. So now let's give you some insights. So some insights that I got says, don't be attached to your thoughts, ideas, beliefs, values, and standards. Okay, sometimes we have to do this. When we have someone that doesn't have the same beliefs, maybe political beliefs, and but in order to have civil relationships, I have to detach yourself and not make it kind of rule the conversation, your relationship. So detach yourself from your ideas, your beliefs, your values and standards, because that's going to help you sometimes tolerate some people. Okay, so that's one. Don't take things personally. It is not about you. It is about them. Sometimes I have to remember that, because when someone's angry and then they may lash out at you, right? And then that will in return make you angry. But I always say, And I'll think to myself when someone's angry, what hurt you? But I will not take it personally. Be a detective. What was it that set you off, made you angry? What is the primary emotion? Remember I mentioned, like, what is that emotion? What's the source? Did someone hurt you? Someone disappoint you? Were you scared? And then remember to use I statements. If you're doing like expressing yourself, communicating, make sure you're talking about like words like I think, I really feel, you know, I didn't like how that was said. Like, emphasize it on you. You only have control of your own feelings. You only have insight of your own feelings. So talk about I. And then another technique is practice empathy. I know it's my favorite. Get curious about what's going on with the other person. Have you ever done it? Like if someone is, trying to go in front of you and cuts you off. Seek to understand, not saying that you're trying to justify them and it's not okay, but try to just put yourself in their shoes. That just kind of helps with, the anger. You're like, oh, okay, fine, I've done it before, I had to go pee really bad, so I cut someone off, like that's going to help you not justify them and give them excuses, but it's going to help you at least just control that anger, right? Okay. And I forgot to mention some of the whys, and I think this is important to mention. Remember that sometimes the root of your anger is because you're repressing something from your maybe childhood trauma. So sometimes it can be very deep, and that's why if it's deep, then you really definitely want to address it. Because sometimes some trauma, whether it was before, you held yourself in high standards, and then it is about the beliefs that you have about yourself and your self-image. It's what's inside. So sometimes it will take deep work, and like I mentioned, like therapy, that can help a lot, being able to talk these feelings out with someone. So keep that in mind too, because sometimes it could be something simple and surfacey and you can just a technique, but sometimes these techniques might not help, and until you really have this talk about some of your childhood trauma that you had, that maybe set some expectations for you to have, and then really high standards, and when people break them or you see it in other people, then you take it out on them and you're angry. So keep that in mind. I forgot to mention that. Something else in a relationship. But I wanted to end with this part. I think the main part, if you find your passion, find what your purpose is. That could be another video, might be another video that I will talk about. That which motivates you to, motivates you. That could help a lot. Because your anger, any anger that you may experience could come from that internal dissatisfaction. Sometimes we're not happy with ourselves, we just find things to just lash out. And that's, like you're not really present and in tune with yourself. So then when you can get angry because you don't have a purpose, you don't have something that's motivating you, something that keeps you in a direction that you are happy about. So it's good that you surround yourself with positive people who inspire you, because it will take care of your anger more than we think, and it's actually proactively doing it. When you're doing that, when you're focusing on the good and you're, really doing what you love to do, that you just like, this is my little bubble, I'm happy, and nothing can make you angry or upset you. And I was thinking, yeah, that's true. Once you find that purpose, that passion, it's like, I feel like I'm immune to, like, not that I don't get angry, because there's things that I get angry about sometimes, but I know how to easily just take, breathe. And I really swear, breathing definitely helps. Like, I just know these techniques and I use them regularly. You have to practice them, right? So I did mention today, how anger is a secondary emotion. Keep that in mind when you see someone. Think about like what hurt them. On some things you can do that ABCDE technique. Others you might need a little more support, whether it's a mediator to help you, with some conflict, deal with some conflict, whether it's a therapist that you need to talk about certain feelings because it's really deep within, right? Someone to help dig that out and understand, things better. Do a lot of journaling. Sometimes letting it out on a piece of paper, writing it out helps you not keep things in and not swallow, not suppress things. And I think those are the big ones, So hopefully this helped, and hopefully maybe help you understand a little bit more about anger, because I know some people like, oh, he's just an angry person. I think understanding more about that anger is a secondary emotion for me was big, and it hit, yeah, that person's hurt, disappointed. Let's help them out. Let's try to understand. So if you have any questions or suggestions, please let me know. For next week's video, I'm thinking maybe, finding purpose, what motivates us could be our next video. But we'll see, okay? There'll be a link down in the description below regarding all the sources that I found or got me to do this video. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next week. Bye.